נמצא עכשיו כאן ג'ייסון גרינבלט, יועצו הקרוב של דונלד טראמפ, במיוחד לענייני ישראל והמזרח התיכון. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Greenblatt.
נעים מאוד, thank you very much for having me.
How long have you been working with Donald Trump?
Nearly 2 decades.
2 decades. How is he?
Amazing. He's such a talented individual. He's brilliant. He's generous. He's kind. I think he's going to make a great president.
Does he have a policy towards the Middle East and Israel?
I'll address Israel because I don't know the whole policy towards the Middle East. The Middle East, as you know, is extraordinarily complicated today, much more so than it's ever been. With respect to Israel, he is an incredible supporter. He understands what Israel is going through. He understands the terror that Israel has to live with. He understands that Israel is doing its best to protect the citizens. And I think his policy generally is keeping Israel strong, keeping Israel safe. At the same time, he would like to see peace there. And if he can play a role in helping the two sides achieve a just and a lasting peace agreement, he would love to play a role in that.
What about the two-state solution?
He doesn't want to take a position on that right now, simply because if that doesn't work for the Israelis and the Palestinians, there's no point in him trying to impose a two-state solution if it's going to break apart. So his view, which is reflected in the new platform of the Republican Party, is the two sides sort of need to get together, figure it out, and he will be there to help them achieve the goal. But to try to impose a two-state solution, if it isn't going to work or if it isn't going to last, it doesn't make sense then.
The thing with Donald Trump is that he's perceived as being unpredictable. Does he have a real policy, or is he going to go just according to what he feels like?
I don't think he's unpredictable at all. I think he's very strategic. He may be an out-of-the-box thinker. He's very creative. He doesn't get bogged down in policies that don't work, even if they've been around for many years. But I wouldn't view him as unpredictable.
But when he said that he was going to be neutral about the Middle East, that raised a few eyebrows.
It depends how you look at it. First of all, I don't think the current administration is neutral. I think the current administration has been somewhat anti-Israel, somewhat supportive, but somewhat anti-Israel. So his view of the word neutral is he's going to come in and try to help both sides achieve something that works. I know that we feel that the word neutral, it's been a buzzword for many years, almost makes it seem like he doesn't understand what Israel is going through. That's completely not the case. Neutral to him means he will come and help Israel achieve what it wants to do. And that, of course, assumes that there's a Palestinian side at the table. Right now, Israel has made many overtures to the Palestinians. They're not coming to the table. They're not condemning the terror. In fact, they're obviously inciting the terror. That isn't going to allow anybody to help achieve peace.
You know that Israel is deeply divided. Israelis are deeply divided on many issues. How do you decide what's good for Israel? Who do you consult with?
So he's going to be consulting with whatever the government is, meaning it's not for him to decide what's good for Israel. He wants Israel to achieve what Israel wants to achieve, again, assuming the Palestinians will help them achieve that. But it's not for him to take sides within the Israeli population. Whatever the democratically elected government of Israel is what he's going to support.
So do you consult with Israeli ambassador here in the United States?
I've consulted with many people. I can't name individuals at the moment. I don't want to name individuals, but at the right time, we're going to be consulting with all levels of the government.
And opposition as well? Did you talk to anybody from Israeli opposition, other parties?
I hear from all sides. If I were to take a trip to Israel, which we're talking about, I will meet with everybody from left to right, and I think that's important because there are, as you say, a lot of voices in Israel, and in order for us to figure out how to help Israel, we need to hear from all sides.
January 21st, Donald Trump is the President of the United States. What's happening in the Middle East? What's happening?
You know, the Middle East, every week there's something new and terrible occurring. So it's very hard to predict on January 21st, but what will happen on January 21st, if Donald is elected, we will have a very strong, effective leader, a leader who's not afraid to call out terrorism wherever it exists, including in Israel, a leader who will support Israel, a leader who will try to help bring calm to the Middle East. But the Middle East crisis, the Middle East having fallen apart, really has little to do with what's happening between the Israelis and Palestinians. I know there was always a lot of talk about how, wow, if you solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the Middle East will be an island of peace. We know that's not true. We've known that for a long time. Many people don't admit it. He recognizes that. So it's really two separate conversations. They, of course, impact one another. But bringing peace to Israel is not going to solve the Middle East crisis.
Jason Greenblatt, I thank you very much. Thank you.